Is Young Justice Season 5 actually happening? For months, maybe even years now, you've been asking, you've been searching, and the confusion around a new season has been building into a tidal wave. You've probably seen the countless comments, the forum threads, the desperate pleas all over social media. If you're a devoted fan like me, you've likely scoured the internet, desperate for any update. Well, stick around, because today we are cutting through all that noise. We're diving deep into the whispers, the rumors, and even some theories you haven't heard yet to finally give you some clarity on the future of Young Justice and whether our favorite heroes are returning to the small screen. So let's address the elephant in the room. Why is there so much confusion? It's not just you. It's a widespread feeling across the entire fanbase. Ever since the finale of Season 4, Phantoms, wrapped up, we've been met with, well, a whole lot of silence. There have been no concrete official announcements from Warner Bros. Or DC. This lack of a clear yes or no has created a vacuum, and that vacuum has been filled with speculation, hope, and unfortunately, a lot of misinformation. A big part of this anxiety stems from the major shakeups we've seen in the streaming world. Remember when HBO Max, the home of Season 4, went through that massive content purge? Shows were vanishing overnight. It was a chaotic time for viewers, and it definitely fueled a lot of fear among Young Justice fans. The platform then rebranded to just Max. These kinds of corporate shifts and strategy changes always make fans of existing shows nervous, and for good reason. It raises questions about budgets, priorities, and whether a beloved but perhaps niche show like ours will make the cut in a new, more streamlined content library. The ground beneath our feet felt unsteady, and it's been hard to regain our footing ever since. So where do we officially stand right now? The honest and somewhat frustrating answer is that we're still in limbo. As of this recording, neither Warner Bros. Animation nor the new heads of DC Studios, James Gunn and Peter Safran, have made a definitive public statement confirming or denying a fifth season. The silence is deafening. However, we can look to the creators for some insight. Greg Weisman, one of the show's masterminds, has been consistently active on social media. When asked, his message has been remarkably consistent. He's stated multiple times that they have ideas for more seasons, that they're ready and willing to make them, but they haven't been given the green light. He encourages fans to keep watching the show on streaming services and to use hashtags like #SaveYoungJustice and #RenewYoungJustice to show Warner Bros. Discovery that the demand is still there. So the creative team is on our side. They're just waiting for the executives to give them the go-ahead. Now, what about the new DC Universe roadmap laid out by Gunn and Safran? This is a huge piece of the puzzle. They announced a whole slate of interconnected movies and TV shows, starting with the animated series Creature Commandos. A key part of their plan is that animation will be just as important as live action, with actors often playing their roles across both mediums. This is exciting, but it also raises a critical question. Where does a pre-existing non-canon show like Young Justice fit in? The new DCU is all about a single, unified continuity. Young Justice, with its rich, complex history on Earth-16, exists outside of that. This has led many to believe that the new leadership might want a clean slate, focusing all Jehovah resources on building their new universe from the ground up, potentially leaving legacy projects like ours behind. It's a logical but heartbreaking possibility. With this information vacuum, rumors have run wild. Let's take a moment to debunk some of the most common myths. If you've seen a website or a YouTube video with a specific release date for Season 5, like coming fall 2025, and it's not from an official DC or Warner Bros. Source, it's almost certainly fake. These are usually clickbait articles designed to prey on our hopes. There is no secret release date. There has been no secret renewal. Any announcement would be a massive news story, and you'd see it reported by all the major entertainment news outlets, not just some random, unsourced website. So, what about the more interesting theories? One popular fan theory is that the show could find a new home. Could it move to a different streaming service, like Amazon Prime or even Netflix, which originally saved it after its first cancellation? While it's a nice thought, it's complicated. Warner Bros. Discovery owns the rights to Young Justice. For it to move, they'd have to be willing to license it out to a competitor, which seems unlikely given that they're trying to build up their own platform Max as the definitive home for all things DC. Another theory revolves around the new DCU. Could elements of Young Justice be folded into the new continuity? Maybe we won't get a direct season 5, but we might see versioni of these characters, voiced by the same actors, appear in the new universe. This is purely speculation, but it's an interesting thought. James Gunn is known to be a fan of DC's deep lore, and the characters of Young Justice are fan favorites. Perhaps he'll find a way to honor them in his new world. But for those of us who have invested over a decade in the story of Earth-16, that would be a bittersweet outcome. We want to see ***** Nightwing, ***** Superboy, **** Miss Martian continue *** their *** story. We also have to consider the strategic impact of other upcoming shows. Creature Commandos is the first official project of the new DCU. Its success or failure will likely influence Tocomstich's decisions. Then there's the Waller series, starring Viola Davis, which is a direct spin-off from Peacemaker. These projects are clearly high priorities. The sad reality is that from a studio perspective, new projects tied to the main cinematic universe are probably seen as a safer bet and a higher priority than continuing a long-running animated series from a previous regime. Let's pull back the curtain and talk about the financial and strategic hurdles, because this is often what it all boils down to. Making high-quality animation like Young Justice is incredibly expensive. It's not a cheap show to produce. Every season, the cast grows, the scope gets bigger, and that costs money. For a studio a renewal, they have to look at the numbers. Is the viewership high enough to justify the cost? This is where it gets tricky. In the modern streaming era, the strategy is shifting. Platforms are moving away from having massive libraries with hundreds of shows. Instead, they're focusing on fewer, bigger, higher-budget original series that can act as major event releases. They want Stranger Things or their Game of Thrones. While Young Justice has an incredibly passionate and devoted fanbase, we have to be realistic about its size. It's considered more of a niche show compared to general audience blockbusters. The big question for the executives at Warner Bros. Discovery is this: does renewing Young Justice for a 5th season bring in enough new subscribers, or prevent enough current subscribers from leaving to justify its multi-million-dollar price tag? It's a cold, hard business calculation, and our passion doesn't always translate directly into the metrics they care about most. So, in the face of all this uncertainty, what can we, the fans, actually do, and what does the road ahead look like? First and foremost, don't give up hope, but channel that energy constructively. Greg Weisman's advice is the best we have. Keep rewatching all 4 seasons of Young Justice on Max. Viewing numbers are the most powerful language we can speak to a streaming service. The more times the show is watched, the more valuable it appears in their data. Second, continue the social media campaigns, but keep them respectful. Use the hashtags #RenewYoungJustice and #SaveYoungJustice. Tag the official accounts for Max, DC, and Warner Bros. Discovery, let them know, politely and persistently, that this show matters to you. Angry, demanding, or spammy comments are easy to ignore. Passionate, personal, and respectful messages are much harder to dismiss. As for a realistic timeline, if a renewal were to happen, we probably wouldn't hear about it for a while. The new DCU is just getting started, and that's where the focus is. The most optimistic scenario is that once the new slate is more established, the studio might look back at its library and see the consistent demand for Young Justice and decide it's worth continuing. But we are likely talking a year or more before any such decision would even be considered, let alone announced. In the end, regardless of whether we get a season 5, we should celebrate the enduring legacy of this incredible show. For over a decade, Young Justice has given us some of the most complex, mature, and emotionally resonant storytelling in the entire superhero genre. It respects its audience, it trusts us to follow intricate plots, and it has developed a universe of characters that feel like real people. We got 4 amazing seasons, which is more than we ever thought we'd get after that first cancellation. The story of its fan-driven revival is already a legend. So keep the faith, keep watching, and keep sharing your love for the team. The fight for Season 5 is our own mission, and whether we succeed or not, the journey has been absolutely whelming. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more updates as soon as we have them.